Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ride to Independence. I'm here with Laurie Ludmer. Unfortunately, you can't see her. We're having technical difficulties, but we're still going to do the interview. Hi, Laurie.
Hello, hello.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm really good. Thank you.
Okay, great, great. Well, Laurie, thank you so much for being on Ride to Independence. May I ask how old you are?
I'm 73.
Excellent. But a better question, Laurie, how old do you feel?
Well, actually, I feel like a very healthy 73-year-old. I
No
mean,
kidding.
yeah.
You're the first person who's ever told me that they feel their age.
Well, I do feel my age. I've never been 73 before.
True.
So, I don't really know how that's supposed to feel.
Right.
But when I think about how long my life has been, and I can say, well, 50 years ago, I was doing blah, 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 then it
Right.
sort of makes sense that I'm 73. But of course, there's a part of me that feels like I'm 27 and
Right.
50. But this is what 73 looks like if it's healthy.
Well, I wish we could see you, but we can't. At least we can hear you. But Lori, tell me, when did you tell me a little bit about you? What are you doing right now with your as a career wise?
Well, I'm retired. I'm a retired dance movement therapist, but I'm
Okay.
very, very involved in art and all sorts of art, creativity. I also have political involvements, so that keeps me busy. But I've always been very, very involved in art. So at this point, I'm learning how to play the piano, and I'm really slow at it. But I'm that's my big push. I do stone sculpture. I take dance classes. I write poetry. I'm very involved, and that's what keeps me, um, 73 young, I think. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's something that I wanted to touch base on and why I wanted to bring you on, Lori, because it's so important for seniors to hear from other seniors about staying active
Yeah.
and being involved. And because that's what grows brain cells and that's what keeps you young and keeps you mobile and keeps you engaged with the community. So thank you so much for sharing that with me. But you just started piano lessons?
Well, it's, n not just at this point, it's not just. It's probably,
Okay.
like, 3 years ago when my
Okay.
granddaughter started piano lessons, but I'm very, very at the beginning of it. It's very difficult for me, which is one of the reasons why I think it's so good for my brain. It's left, right,
Absolutely.
rhythms, ti you know, um, it's just so much going on at the same time. And it's physical, it's you gotta do, right hand, left hand. You're keeping, the rhythm with your feet. It's really pretty complicated. And I'm doing Beatles songs. I'm doing songs that I love. I was doing When the Saints Go Marching In, and that was losing my interest. But
Right,
yeah.
right. Well, that's amazing, and I think that that's something that I would like to do when I'm a senior. And but I've had a guitar. I have a guitar, and that's something that I let go, and I would love to continue doing guitar. But piano is definitely something that I would like to take on. But Lori, when did you know that the arts was going to be your life?
Um, I think I don't think I ever consciously thought that. I think it was just something that was always there, and it's like I didn't think it was gonna be science, it was, what was
Well,
always
were
there.
you? Were you 3 years old when your mom put you in dance class, or did she put you in a creative movement class, or
I think,
how did it evolve?
I think when I was very young, I was in a dance class, but more importantly, in my family life, we had copies of Modigliani and Picasso posters, of course, that were
Yeah.
in the family living room. And that visual interest and more than appreciation was
Right.
developed very, very young.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the ways that most people get involved, the parent decides that they want their child to be in the arts or be creative, and I just think it's a wonderful thing that parents do, and it ended up being your life.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had a lifetime connection to the arts, from music, you said, from theater, from to sculpture to poetry. What are some of your earliest memories of creativity growing up?
Well, I can remember um, being kind of proud that I had a painting that I guess I did in elementary school, and it was put up as part of an exhibit, and I thought, well, this is kind of cool. And well, I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, and I think I was in elementary school, and then when I was a teenager, I did a wood sculpture, and that was very um powerful to me to do a wood sculpture, a torso.
How did you
Yeah.
get into sculpting?
Well, I went to this artsy fartsy camp, and there was a sculpture teacher, and he was very cute, and he must have said to me, I don't remember, but he must have said, "Well, here's this piece of, wood," and it was it was maybe 3 feet long, and do something with it. And so I did. And it was a camp that was very much about the arts. And that's I also was very hurt in that camp because I went to the print shop, which is where you went with your poetry, and the young teacher said to me, "Oh," I showed him my poetry, and he said, "Oh, that's such adolescent stuff." And I was an adolescent, so what did you expect, you know? But it hurt me, and I didn't write poetry for years and years and years afterwards.
Well, what got you into poetry?
Well, my father, who was a fireman for work, was very, very interested in words and language. He ended up becoming an English teacher. So I think it was just like in in the air. It was just in the
Mhm.
air of the family. And my
Right.
mother was, uh, she was theatrical, and yeah, so it was just kind of in the air.
Yeah. Did you what was a specific moment in your life that you realized that your creativity wasn't just gonna be a hobby, but it was gonna be part of your identity?
Well, I think when I was in college and
Mm.
I was a psychology major.
Oh, okay.
So I was very interested in how people thought and why they felt certain ways, interested in the mind and emotions.
Mhm.
And um, I was taking dance classes too. And somehow, I can't look, this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
Um, Somehow I made the connection. This was actually in when I was a freshman. I could have yeah, I could have gone to a different college, and there was a dance therapy program, and I just must have thought intuitively, "Oh, dance therapy, of course, like art therapy, like music therapy, dance therapy.
Right.
And it was an intuitive decision more than anything else, and
Yeah.
my own feeling of when I danced, how it made me feel, and if I had any insights as I danced. Anyway.
Well, I mean, you did mention that you as a professional, you were a dance therapist. I
Right.
never heard of a dance therapist. What does a dance therapist do?
Well, it depends on who you're working with. Dance therapy actually was created, by after World War II, or came out of World War II, when all of these, shell shocked, it was called, these shell shocked men were
Uh-huh.
institutionalized. And there were people who were therapists who didn't know what the heck to do with them. And then they
Oh, wow.
saw that they could work in a group. And so the men didn't even need to be verbal. They could just
Right.
have a sense of connection and blah, blah, blah. So that was one part of dance therapy, was what was her name? I can't remember. The other part was this woman, Blanche Evans, who worked from much more of the quote unquote neurotic client, the client who just
Mm.
was going to psychoanalysis analysis and wanted another way to work. And so that was more from the creative end of it, as versus the more like functional way of getting people to be with each other. And so I was
Right.
very, con- even though my first work was with institutionalized men, I was really much more interested in working with the more neurotic client, but that's was not exactly what's happening. It was
Right.
dance therapy. It's too bad. And then it became the whole thing of people's awareness of having a healthy body, and the healthy
Right.
body, healthy mind. Da, 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 da. So
Well, is dance therapy still prevalent now? Is it used?
very rarely. I think what's used more is the body is, it's become part of physical, personal training, and
Okay. How about
working.
music therapy?
Music therapy, I think, is more used. But all of the creative arts aren't way up there in, they involve time, and
Right.
you know, but it's dance therapy, I think, is certainly below music therapy, below art therapy, and it never quite caught on. It changed into something else.
I understand. Right, right. Yeah, no, I've heard of art therapy, music therapy, and but dance therapy, I have to say that I was a little ignorant on the dance therapy. But you believe in the healing power of dance and movement, no
Absolutely,
matter what age, right? No matter
absolutely.
what age you are, the ability. Can you share a moment when you witnessed the healing power
Well,
of the dance
yeah,
therapy?
sure. Anytime people get together at a party and dance together, you're
Mm,
witnessing. Anytime,
right.
for
True.
on a personal level, um seeing older men come out of their shell a little bit,
Their
uh,
shells. Yeah.
their shell, and, like, wanting to, like, hold hands with you in a way that they haven't made that kind of contact with anybody. That's the healing power of dance and movement. It's a physical thing, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I had on my podcast Talia Pozzo. She runs
Wow.
all the salsa events in New York City. In Bryant Park. I don't know if you've heard about it. Uh
Yes.
rooftops, the whole summer. Anytime you heard anything about a dance party in New York City, she was running these events. and, it was free to the public, and it would bring out hundreds and hundreds of people, to these events, especially in Bryant Park.
Yeah. Well, that's the healing power of dance and movement.
Mhm, mhm. But
So,
you
and
also
it's so
said that
simple.
you
Yeah.
yes, you also said that you well, you're a published poet. Is that is that aren't you? Incredible.
Yeah.
How did writing enter into your life? I know you spoke about it earlier, but tell me, how did poetry I think you said your father loved to
Well,
write?
my father was very interested in words, and and, I guess because my mother was sort of theatrical, I don't know, but there are things that you can, write in poetry and ways that you could write in poetry that you really can't in other ways, that
Right.
it just doesn't work, and, I told you about when I was a teenager and this guy totally totally, hurt me, and I didn't write for many years, but then I writing is its own art, and,
Yeah, I was gonna
um,
say it's its own art, for sure.
it is its own art, but it's very similar in many ways to well, certainly to sculpting. In sculpting, you take away from, let's say, from the stone, you take it away to its essence. In poetry, you try to find the essence of what you're saying. And so you're carving with words as versus carving with a chisel. So there's
Mhm.
real similarities, but it's very different forms. And it's different ways of communicating.
Well, now, in your 60s, you discovered stone sculpting.
Right, right.
What is that?
Well, you see Michelangelo? I mean, that's a
Yes.
stone sculpture. So, in my
Okay.
60s, I was doing clay work, and then I went into a stone studio. There aren't many stone studios, and I was blown away by what I saw, and knowing
Wow.
that this was something that was done. I saw a sculpture that had a hole in the middle of it, and it was done by hand, and I couldn't believe what I saw, and actually stone sculpture is at this point as is at the top of my creative endeavors. It's just amazing to me. I'm a little impaired with my shoulder and blah blah, but I was using heavier stones. I can't do that anymore. But there's nothing like a stone sculpting. Nothing.
Wow. Are you sculpting, pieces of art and trying to possibly sell them maybe at street fairs or events? Or this is just more of a personal thing that you like to do for yourself?
Well, I there was a little time where I thought, oh, let me try and sell this stuff. And And then I'm like, I really don't wanna spend the time doing that. If somebody
Right,
was to come around and say, "Oh, well, look, you have that. I'll give you blah, blah for that." And I'd say,
right,
"Oh, well,
right,
maybe."
right.
But no, it's I'm not, you know,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
give some to my friends, family,
yeah,
running
exactly.
out of space in my house.
Did you pass any of the arts to your children? What are your children involved in?
Well, my daughter is a wonderful dancer, and she's a very unique singer and composer. Um, yeah, so um, yeah, she's a she doodles. My sons Well, I guess my oldest son has taken creativity in terms of his, um, food. He's a very good chef. He's very, very busy. He's got 3 kids, and he's very busy. And my younger son, I think, has taken my creativity, and I'm not sure exactly what. He's very good at what he does, and I'm not even sure what he does.
Okay. Well what's one creative practice that you think that everyone should try no matter what age or what skill level?
Mm, that's a good question. Um, well, try to, I would say, something that would, interest them, whether it's painting or making something creative that they would want to take another step, and then
Right,
take another step,
and continue,
continue,
exactly.
and
Did
get a
you ever
little bit
think
deeper.
about did you ever think about teaching to other seniors?
Uh, not Never really thought about it.
Okay.
I I think I would be more interested in just talking about the positive effects of being involved in creativity,
Right,
and
right. Because it's so important that seniors I feel it's so important that seniors learn about other seniors and what they're doing, their creative outlets because, there's seniors out there, I'm in the senior concierge service, and there's so many seniors out there that don't have any hobbies.
yeah,
They don't know what to do,
yeah.
and, I just think that you will be it will be nice for you to motivate these people who really don't know what to do with their life
Yeah, well,
creatively
yeah,
creatively.
well, yeah, I mean, I would certainly be interested in talking to, seniors, and
Right. Okay.
seeing, helping them, figure out what they might be interested in doing, whether it was,
Right.
making photography. I mean, I do photography now because it's so easy with your phone. I mean, you go out and,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, it's so
Yeah.
much is, and you it's accessible now. So much is
Yes.
accessible.
Sure, sure. I mean, there's so many art forms out there, Lori, and, I would think that as you age, your creativity fades, but it hasn't with you.
No, no, it hasn't with me, and that isn't that a lovely surprise? Yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
it's a lovely surprise that your creativity has not faded. I mean, has it stayed in the same, level, or do you just feel that you're just doing enough because of because of
Well,
time?
what the thing is, I had, work, and I had 3 kids, and when I turned 60, I gave myself a Wizard of Oz party, and I did, the 3 clicks of your heels. I found red sneakers, red glittery sneakers, and it was like, "Okay, like, what am I gonna do now?
Right,
What am I gonna
right,
do?"
yeah.
And it was like I didn't realize that I was gonna make it happen, but that's what I did. I made it happen. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, do you think that the idea of being an artist, I mean, can't make a living is still true today, or has that changed with some people, I know some people value creativity, but, arts has always been a poor man's type of career. Were
Yes.
you able to make a living doing this in
No,
any of those
no,
forms?
no, no, and I've been
No?
lucky. My husband has had a steady job, and, we've relied on his, although, I've worked as a dance therapist, but, um, no, it's been, because of his ability to sustain us. But, yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't think of what I've done as a hobby. I guess I have my own prejudice against that word hobby. Um, but maybe I shouldn't. But I don't think it's something that you can go into and say, I'm going to be making money at this. I want to make money
Right.
at this. That
Yeah, I
be
mean, just
setting
like
yourself
being an
up.
actor, being a dancer, being a sculptor, I mean, all the arts, it's just a
Yeah,
difficult way to make a living. Only a few people make it to as a career and are able to sustain themselves and live off of their creativity. But you were a dance therapist, which is wonderful.
right.
So that's great. You got to be a mom and raise your children. And I just like to hear from seniors that are being creative, they're being active, being involved. You mentioned earlier that you were involved politically. In
Yes.
the local level, you're involved politically. Are you running for anything or you
Oh,
just
no, no, no.
support
No,
particular candidates?
no. Candidates and uh,
Issues?
issues. Yeah. But yeah. But not my son is actually involved in local politics, and he was running for something himself. Now he's more like the campaign manager type, but,
Okay.
I guess maybe you could say that was where his creativity has, come through, but, he's
Right.
totally overstretched, I think, he's got 3 young
Okay,
kids.
yeah, yeah. I tend to dabble in politics too, and I do end up helping, candidates, with their campaigns.
Uh-huh.
I love to get involved in political arenas around my town and around my state, and, because I think it's important for people to stay involved. I think it's important for people to speak out, and, being a senior advocate, I always try to get seniors to step up and, if they need a ride to to a campaign or they need a ride to, anywhere that they need to go to listen to anyone who's running, I always try to volunteer myself to help them. I was able to help a couple of people in the No Kings rally. I
Oh,
was there
good.
in Teaneck, by the way.
Oh, good, good, good.
I
Yeah,
was there in Teaneck, yeah.
uh-huh.
So, I do try to stay involved and teach my children to be involved, of course. But Lori, thank you
Yes,
so much for coming on and sharing your story and how creative you are in your senior years. And, thank you for, coming on Ride to Independence. Stay healthy and strong.
thank you, and yeah, you do your own good work.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much. You take care of
okay.
yourself.
Okey dokey. Alright, thank you. Okay,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.